Hi, I hope we are learning and I'm happy to have you. And if you reached this far, it seems we are doing well with me and you. And I want us today we look at chapter 4. Our chapter 4, we want to see on now the real performance of our business. And chapter 4 helps people want to know about our business. An investor who wants to know about business, how we operate, and how we the flow of the business um, in summary. This one will give somebody an idea of what happens in our businesses. So basically that's it. And our chapter 4 is called operational or production plan. Operational or production plan. The reason that we have these two types is because the people that are in manufacturing or they are in production, they are making their things from the raw materials. They are going to write it in terms of a production plan. There are people who are doing, who are selling things which are already um, manufactured. They are not producing something new. So those ones we are looking at it in terms of the operational plan. Basically, it's a bit the content is a bit small, but in between we have a lot to look at. We have 5 parts to look at, unlike the other chapters, we have about 7. But in between them, we have a few things that we need to look at and concentrate on. So we can begin with the first one, which is 4.1, which we call the product or service design and development. And the reason that we call it that is because we want to see how the products are designed. That is for somebody who is in manufacturing. How would you correct the raw materials? How would you assemble them? How would you sort and make the finished product in summary? You don't give the step by step. You just summarize on. You correct the raw materials from maybe the supplier, then they are sorted as per their quality and the likes, and then you put them in a machine or you put them in whichever place that you put for the production of the items that you want. Once you have produced, you have put them there and you've made the product as per the specifications of the product, then you package, then you advertise, and customers come and buy, come customers come and inquire, they pay for the product and you release the customers. So that is now the summary of the whole process. For the people that are in operation, those are now the people that have the service or the product is not something that you started uh, from the production of it. So for the people that are in product, you just say you the process from like now an example, you order things from your supplier, then um, the things are transported whichever through whichever means that you're using, they're delivered, you receive them, you put them in shelves and some in the store, and then you advertise for the products and customers inquire about them. uh, they pay for the product and you release the customer. You can also talk of the people who are in the service. Maybe you go for a site visit. After the site visit, you give a quotation on the site on whichever thing that you're doing. Then once you have agreed with the client on the pricing, then you either buy the things that are needed or you start the installation or the repair that is needed. The client pays for the first the client confirms that the service is per their expectations, and then you are paid, that is the client pays for the service, and you release all the services concluded. That is the summary of the first part of it on the service design. So basically an overview of what happens in the business. Then the next thing that we look at is maybe the costings. How much is it going to cost you from now the order, the transport, the packaging, maybe the delivery? What is the total cost that on average it might cost you for the whole process until the customer, now you release them, all they are satisfied with your service. Then there are some challenges that you may face in technology. What are some of the things, the trends that have come up? Maybe customers prefer more of you going to the customers, and like before, when customers needed to bring their products for repairs, they expect you to go and repair their products from their places. They also, their way of marketing yourself, it's more of online, and like where you were expecting that you can go door to door and talking to customers. Nowadays, customers feel like it's a nuisance to them. And so, what are some of technologies that have changed? Maybe the item that you're going to do a repair on, it's old school, and and the spare parts that are hard, they're hard to find, or they're not even compatible. So these are some of the challenges that you might face in technology, and how do you intend to maneuver through, either for the immediate or for the future. You can employ somebody who will be doing marketing for you. You can be going for seminars to have an update on whichever things that have changed in the technology in your field. You can also get to know of some companies which are very proactive, and benchmark on them. So keep on visiting, seeing the changes that have been there, and the changes that maybe you had not put on board in your business, and from there now you're able to catch up with the technology. So basically that's it on 4.1. Just give a summary of the whole process, then, and what's the technology that has there, which use the modern technology, and then what are some of the things that are happening in it, and how we are able to cope through them. So the next one is 4.2, and 4.2 we are looking at the production or operational facilities and capacity. Production or operational facilities or capacity. I'm mentioning the two because there might be people who are in production, there might be people who are in operation. So basically here we are looking at the things that we need for the first time when we are starting our business, and these things are the things that you're going to use, you will be using for the first day when you start the business. The things that you'll need the first day when you start the business. I'm just looking for a sample of it so that we can have a feel of what is expected. I did something which is a bit simpler. So, and when we're talking of these things, we are not mentioning the stock, we are not mentioning the things that we are going to use. These are things like chairs, tables, maybe some will need a Wi-Fi, a computer, things that you're going to start with from the first day. And maybe depending on your capital base, some will need a motorbike, a vehicle, such things. The things that you're going to start with from the first day. So I want to sample some of these um, example of this. So I will look at this. So it's a table which shows the specification, that is a specific item that you need, and the date that is required, the number required, the source, the cost per unit, and the total cost. So it looks like this. And so the first column you put the items. So like this one, he needs a counter book, shelf, chair, a counter, and a table. The some will need a bench for the customers. Some will need a computer, depending on what you want to start the business with. Then the next part, which is the date required, we will put the dates when you're starting your business. So this date should correspond with the date that you wrote in your chapter 1. So you keep on repeating it on all items. Then the next part is the number required. If it is the counter books, how many do you need when you're starting? If it is the shelves, how many do you need? Even from the look of this person is in the product, and that's why they are talking about the shelves where they'll be displaying their items in. And then the chairs, there are 5. Remember, you have people in the office that will need to sit. So the chairs. There is a counter. This, I think, is for the display. When the customers, when they come, the first people they meet, the display of those items. And then there are tables. These, I believe, for the people in the offices, there are 3. And remember, we had 3 key management in this one. So maybe it's the table for the 3. And then the next thing you look at is the source. Who is going to be your supplier? Like now I'm seeing for the counter book it's Kasuku. And then for the rest, they're taking from a specific supplier who is in the furniture business. So they have written the name of the supplier there. And then the next thing is the cost. Yeah. Yeah. How much is one counter book going to cost me? You write the cost here. And since the person needs 2 counter books, you multiply the figure here times 2, which is now the 300. So you keep on repeating the same until you finish the table. So that is on 4.2. The other thing you look at on 4.2 is whether you are going to hire or lease machineries, and maybe you are in welding, you are in you want to hire those drilling machine, you want to hire motor riders, you want to hire vehicles, all those things. So the next question is whether you're going to hire such things. If you're going to hire them, at what cost are you going to hire them, and where are you going to hire them from? Then the next part we want to look at is the, 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 the business layout. The business layout is now the structure of your business. Once I get from the entrance, how is my business structured? Once I get inside, who do I meet first? Is it the receptionist? Is it the sales representatives? Is it the security guard? And remember, this one will be, you have to mention as per your employees. So you cannot say that you have, once I get to the entrance, the first person I'm going to meet is a security guard, and you did not have an employee who was a security guard. Or a secretary, I did not have a secretary. So basically here we want to have a ground view of how your business will be, and we do it in form of a drawing where you draw your business from the entrance to. So it will depend with the business. there are some. Let me see what my sampled ones have. So an example, this one, you can see the entrance here at the lower part. So I'm not seeing the exit to the same, but you can see the display is very well. There are shelves almost all over, and there is the table and the chair, and then there is a table and chair. So it seems that these people are sharing a table, and then there is another table and a chair. Remember, this person said they need 3 tables, so they have even an extra table on the same. And then we have they have shown the offices. There is the sales manager's office, there is the general manager's office, there is the accounts office, there is the technicians and the sales representative's office. They are at the end. So basically, when you're doing your layout, you're supposed to show a table, a title. This one does not have a title, and you're supposed also to show an entry and an exit. So this one is just showing us an entry, and it also seems a bit complicated because it's not showing. Once I get to the entrance, who do I meet? Remember, there were some display tables. I cannot see the displays here. So you're supposed to show the display. So I was expecting that maybe once you get to the entrance, the first thing is the display, since they do not have a secretary and they do not have a security guard. So you put a display here, where now I'm expecting the sales representatives should be here. Because being the entrance is here, I'm not expecting the sales people to be at the corner. Once the customers get to the business, how will they know who am I going to reach out to and where are the products? So basically, once you get inside, let me see what as a client, let me see the first person that I'm going to meet. Because if you put the accountant as the first person here, they'll have so many questions and then maybe they will not have time to dissolve, to do their duties. So basically have a very good representation of the same, have an entrance and an exit. If you have a store, you can put the store behind the sales people, so that now it will show that once if something is not on the display, they can just pick it from behind them and they are able to give to the client as per the expectations. Then yeah, that's it. So that is on the display. So the other point we are looking at on 4.2 is on the expansion. What is the size of your business? Does it give a room for expansion, or you will need to, once you have grown, you'll need to move to another business premise? So that is something else you should touch on, whether there is a room for future expansion, where now you explain on maybe once you are, maybe there is if the space is too small, you have an opportunity of moving to the next room or having an entrance, which is, I believe you have seen rooms where there is an entrance to the next room, so you can even advance the next one, or maybe you can move to a bigger space but still maintain this space, because you are from your first customers, they know you from this premise, and then you can be directing them on maybe products which are not there, or the products they can get from there. You can also, maybe if it is big enough, you can talk of the space is big enough and you're able to give room for expansion. You can even squeeze some offices and have some space where you can expand comfortably. Then the last part we look at 4.3 is another table where we are looking at still the same the items. But now we are looking at items that we need, but not the first day when you're starting a business. Remember the other ones we mentioned that you're going to write the day you're starting a business as per your chapter 1. So in this table now we want to see things that you'll need in the business, but not that day. It can be the following day, the following month, the following year, but not they were not very urgent. So those like maybe you can talk of CCTV cameras, you can talk of what computers. Now if you do not need them in the other part, you can talk of what else? Things are disappearing. Let me see what uh, my friend here has. Wi-Fi. They are talking of fire extinguishers. They are talking of desktop. Those are the things that you will need in future. So the table still looks like the other one, but now you put it like this. So you have the items here. So these date you'll put them as per the day that you'll need them. They don't have to be the same. Like for this one, you can see the first one is 15th May 2024. This one is 20th May 2024. This one is 1st June 2024. So they don't have to be the same depending on when you want these items. So long as it's after you've already started the business. Then the next thing is how many do you need? Like now this one needs 4 desktops. Then they will need, then the next thing is on the source. Who is going to be your supplier? You put the names of your suppliers here. If the supply is the same, you write them as they go down. And then how much is it going to cost you? So this one, she's saying that the desktop computer one will be at 60,000 as per the specs, and then the total will now be the 60,000 times the 4 of them to get to 40,000. And then the CCTV cameras, they need 5. Then from the 5 now one will be at 5,000, and so the total will be 25,000. So you continue writing all your future items like that. Basically that's it on 4.2. 4.3, it's called production or operational strategy. Production or operational strategy. So basically this one we are looking at now the items that we are going to have. For the people who are in product, you're going to put your stock, the things that you're going to sell. Let me use the example that we were using before of the solar batteries and whatever. You write the solar batteries, solar modules, or that is now your stock when they are separated. If you are in service, you put the things that you will need to use in order to do the service. Like now, let me use an example of the person that was doing the solar installation. That is somebody who is in service. So you can see the things that they need in order to do the business. So they have talked of drills, they have talked of cordless screwdriver, they have talked of a grinder. These are people now who are in service. These things are the ones to help them do the service that they are doing. So you specify those items, the things that are going to help you in doing the service. If you're in product, you write the products themselves, the products that you are going to sell. Now your stock, you write the stock here. You don't have to write everything, it's just a sample. and for easiness of your understanding. Then the next thing, after you've put the product or the materials, the next thing you write is the frequency required. Frequency required. Frequency required means how often are you going to be buying this product. Like now, let me mention on the person who is doing the product. This person might be buying from their suppliers monthly. So they would write monthly in this column. So they're going to be buying monthly. For the person that is doing the service, you might not want, already you have the items, and as they break, you don't need to buy more. So like for this one, they are talking of yearly. The reason they are talking yearly, because maybe they think that they might break within the year, or within that year they might employ somebody else and they will need an extra for that technician or that person. So that's why they have specified on yearly. Then the next thing after the frequency required is the source. The source, now we said it's the supplier, the person that is selling to you this product. So an example like this one now for the solars, you're talking of solar max. For the batteries, it's chlorine oxide. So you write your supplier in this column. For this one now, still for the ones who are doing service, still, where did you buy the drills, the cordless screwdrivers from? You write your supplier here. That is now the source. Then the next thing is on the quantity. Quantity is the numbers that you need. How many of the solar panels are you going to buy for the first time? Remember, we have said it's your stock. How many are you going to buy? Maybe you are starting with 100 solar panels, solar batteries, 200. You write the figures. If you are going to be selling the incubators, how many of the open box baby incubators are you going to start with? If you're going to be